Hi, I'm John Cole, and I'd like to share my journey, my riches to rags story with you, my journey of how I went from owning 10 houses to being homeless with 10 bags. Um, it's been an interesting journey. The transition has been long, but I'm hoping to help others to not struggle as long as I did by just inviting you in to come and sit with me and just take a break and hear how I transitioned and how others are transitioning as well. I've gone through various different physical issues, from the stress involved with losing everything and starting over. I have basically had to do a lot of soul searching, a lot of work, a lot of counseling, a lot of life coaching, just to get to where I am today, to be able to sit before you and share my story. And basically, it is a long story. This is my manuscript. This is what has transpired from this over the past 16, 17 years. And so I wrote and then rewrote, and it's just been a process, but it has been a blessing. That's why I call it my divine do-over. This is a season where I'm seeing in black and white, and I've been able to see over the years, but more now than ever before. When you look back after so many years, you have a roadmap, a black and white roadmap, showing you where you've been, where you're going. Well, at least for me, it showed me where I was going and where I'd been on my journey, and the various different things that I have endured along the way that were lessons and blessings all at the same time. Some things were very, very difficult, but at the same time, I learned a lot. I'm very grateful for that. It's helped in making me stronger, helping me to become more resourceful, learning where to go to find assistance and help, because I grew up middle income, and when I got married, we were able to purchase a home shortly after getting married, and we met some goals. We were working on the American dream, and when we got to the 10 properties, I thought we were well on our way to really, having that American dream and really working towards bigger and better things and creating legacy, generational wealth. But, it didn't work out that way. It didn't turn out that way. Divorce was the downward spiral for me. Divorce was the pivotal point, the tipping point for me. And I had to start over. And so many, have had to do the same thing. And so a lot of times people talk about their rags to riches story. But in my case, it is the opposite. It's riches to rags. And I never dreamed that I'd end up in a homeless shelter after having 10 properties. And so my journey has been very shocking. It caused a lot of trauma. It caused a lot of physical issues because of those traumas from everything that I've gone through. And it's taken a lot of work to get past it all, to rebuild life, and that's why I say it's my divine do-over. God was with me every step of the way, leading and guiding. There were times when I wasn't able to hear him clearly. I wasn't able to see what the Lord was doing. But as I would go back, through my book, through the pages, writing and rewriting, I was able to see how far I'd come, especially at various different times with various different things. And so the book helped in my rebuilding process. I also wrote poetry. The first book that I published was a poetry journal. And that was my therapy. That was my love letters to God. That was little bite-sized pieces of my journey. Sometimes it was very difficult for me to write about certain parts of my journey. And so poetry was a softer, easier way of starting. And so sometimes when I was writing, I would move to poetry because it was easier. It flowed easier than the raw emotions that were coming out in the process of writing a full chapter, writing about my life, writing about the experiences, going through my journals, because my journals became my book. And later, I'd like to share more of that process with you and hopefully walk some of you through that process if you'd like to venture down that journey yourselves and work on your story and putting it in black and white as well. So for now, I'd just like to tell you a little bit more about me, the things in this manuscript, and how I got my divine do-over. And so I'll unpack it little by little because I know many are busy. And so if you would just take a little break, have a cup of tea, and just join me as I unpack, and hopefully this can become a dialogue so that we can be support one to another and create a safe community to share this type of journey. And so various different hardships. I've met women who have endured divorce, women who've endured widowhood, women who have endured altogether, not divorce and widowhood, but sickness, and either divorce or sickness and widowhood. And so that makes your journey that much more difficult when you're enduring sickness along with everything else. The losses that you have, both emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, as well as financially, because your relationships change. Lots of things change in your life and if it comes suddenly, it makes it that much more difficult because you're literally knocked on your behind sometimes by it. That's what happened to me. That's what's happened to many along the way, along my journey that I've met. There are so many who were just not prepared. Never in a million years did they think that that's how their life would turn out. Many have had questions that kept them up at night, issues that kept them up at night. And it brought me to a point of learning to trust God like never before. It brought me to a point of seeking solutions to the problems from the Word of God, from the Lord, because I could not figure some things out. There were things that were far beyond me that I had no idea what to do about those issues. I'd never experienced certain things, and I needed help. I needed answers. I needed solutions for those problems, and they came straight from heaven. They came from the Lord. And so I'm very grateful and thankful in this season because I'm not who I was. I'm far stronger and more resilient and far more resourceful than I ever thought I could be. And so I'm very grateful, very thankful for this opportunity to change some things, do some things differently, choose some different, make some different decisions, basically. In this season, I'm able to build my businesses differently with God as my CEO. And so I'm looking at things differently than I did in the past. In this season of rebuilding, I'm working on my manuscript. I'm working on other witty ideas and inventions, things that have been placed before me as ideas in order to, things that I actually needed, things out of necessity, just various different things that the Lord has had me to create out of necessity. Those are a part of my rebuilding process, my recreating income. I have basically, I think at the end of my last video, I spoke of being unemployed and underemployed. That is a very real thing in this season. I've seen so many, especially those over 50, who are either unemployed or underemployed, and so many are becoming homeless at this stage of your life. It's very, very hard, very difficult when you are enduring, especially after you've had, after you've had some, comfort, wealth to go without, and to end up at the lowest point of your life, and especially in your latter years. And so I would really like to share some of my resources, tools, tips, things that I've done to change the trajectory of my life. I'm still in the process. I'm still working my way through, and still seeking the solutions and the answers to problems that come up, because as you know, sometimes that's a daily thing. Things change every single day, and thank goodness that they do. I'm very grateful that I am in this position to have walked through 17 years and now to be on this side of it and able to share and hopefully help somebody else. My intention is to help someone else not take 17 years. Hopefully get through it within, days, weeks, months, to get back on your feet. I did not move quick enough. I did not rebuild quick enough in order to keep from becoming homeless. I was stuck. You go through fight, flight, or freeze. And I was in freeze mode for a long time. And then I was in flight. I was on the run. I was hiding from people because I was so embarrassed and ashamed of my situation. And there were some things that I simply didn't know how to avoid. I simply didn't know how to choose differently, do something different. I was in shock, and a brain in shock does not make the best decisions. And back then I was drinking. And so that was one of my coping mechanisms, and it was not a good one. And so after I got past that, I will even speak of that story. It's in my book. That was truly divine. That was had a lot to do with my divine do-over. And so there's many things in my journey that I'm able to learn from and do differently, so that my riches to rags story will become a rags to riches story again. And so I am grateful for the opportunity to hopefully help someone and to be of encouragement and motivation and support in any way that I can, to have dialogues, just to keep someone else from struggling as long as I did. But I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share the journey. I do hope that you will share this video with someone that you think it will bless. This season is a season that I would like to share as I go through, as I rebuild. I would like to basically invite you in as if we are sitting and conversing, as if we're in the room together. And that's simply it. I just want to be able to share with you, and I hope that I can add some value. It's my intention to add value. Thank you. This is Jonquil with 10 Houses to 10 Bags.